Lando no win strikes again. Max Verstappen dominates the field, Carlos Sainz is fighting for his career, and Alonso puts his Aston third in qualifying. Let's get straight into the latest F1 news. The Shanghai International Circuit witnessed an exhilarating sprint race ahead of the Chinese Grand Prix, which saw Red Bull's Max Verstappen clinch the victory. As the lights went out to start the sprint, Mercedes' Lewis Hamilton made a quick move and placed himself alongside pole-sitter Lando Norris's McLaren as the field approached turn 1. Norris ran wide through the corner, dropping down to 7th, while Hamilton held the lead from Aston Martin's Fernando Alonso and Red Bull's Max Verstappen. Verstappen appeared to struggle at the start, taking some time to get to grips with his car and complained about running out of battery power. He spent more time worrying about an attack from Ferrari's Carlos Sainz than chasing down Alonso. However, he finally latched onto Alonso and cleared him down the back straight, moving into second place and hunting Hamilton. Hamilton made a small error at the hairpin, allowing Verstappen to close in on him. Verstappen made the most of the opportunity and overtook Hamilton, stretching his legs at the front to come home 13 seconds clear of his former title rival. The battle for the final podium position was thrilling, with Alonso attempting to hold off Sainz, Perez, and Leclerc. However, while battling wheel-to-wheel with Sainz, Alonso picked up a puncture and was forced to pit and eventually retire. Perez took advantage of the situation and moved up to third place. The two Ferraris, Sainz and Leclerc, were engaged in a hard squabble for position, with Leclerc eventually coming out on top. He wasn't pleased, though, as he felt that Sainz had pushed him wide at the hairpin. Pole-sitter Norris came home in 6th, enjoying a clear pace advantage over his McLaren teammate Oscar Piastri, who finished 7th. The final points place went to Mercedes' George Russell, who ran the race on the soft tire, while home hero Zhou Guanyu claimed the 9th position and was the highest non-scorer. During the Chinese Grand Prix sprint, Fernando Alonso and Carlos Sainz had a collision that resulted in Alonso suffering a puncture and floor damage to his AMR-24. This incident led to a steward's investigation, and both drivers were summoned to their offices for questioning. Alonso, who was leading a train of cars comprising Sainz, Sergio Perez, and Charles Leclerc in the final 5 laps, made several attempts to defend his position against Sainz. However, on lap 16, Sainz was able to overtake Alonso after his defense was undone. Alonso made contact with Sainz in an attempt to retake his position, which led to a puncture for the double world champion and his subsequent retirement from the sprint. Alonso, in his post-race interview with Dazian F1 Spain, pointed the blame at Sainz for the incident, stating that he didn't leave him enough space. He said that they were running side by side on turn 7, and on turn 8 he tried to run on the outside, but Sainz didn't leave him space for that. Alonso opened the racing line, but Sainz didn't do the same to him on turn 9. Alonso initially had a strong start in the race, running in 2nd behind Lewis Hamilton for the first 7 laps. However, he was unable to keep Max Verstappen behind him, and from there on he was 3rd on the track. He did a fantastic job of keeping the rest of the drivers at bay, but his tires started to go off, having pushed over his car's race pace. He revealed that he demanded more from the tires than he should have, and he pushed to the maximum. He was missing grip with those tires in the end, and it was difficult to keep the group behind him. The team eventually made the call to park his car, which had suffered floor damage, and he became the only driver to retire from the race. If you are enjoying the video so far, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for daily F1 news. During the Chinese Grand Prix sprint race, Fernando Alonso was given a 10-second penalty for causing an incident that left both him and Carlos Sainz with damage. The stewards deemed Alonso at fault for the contact and have given him 3 penalty points, taking his total to 6. The penalty time will be added to Alonso's sprint race rather than the Grand Prix itself. Aston Martin earned 0 points in the sprint, with Lance Stroll finishing 14th, while Ferrari scored 9. Max Verstappen has secured the top spot in the starting grid for the Chinese Grand Prix after achieving pole position, with Sergio Perez coming in 2nd. The qualifying session had a few surprises in store, with Lewis Hamilton having a disastrous outing, going from the sprint podium to being eliminated in Q1. Despite Carlos Sainz causing red flags, he still managed to qualify in 7th place. The qualifying session began with a brief queuing war, as Nico Hülkenberg pushed his way ahead of Astake and Alex Albon. The drivers were eager to hit the track, as showers were closing in on the circuit. Fernando Alonso and Oscar Piastri both took turns leading the pack, with times faster than sprint winner Max Verstappen. Carlos Sainz, who traded the medium tires he initially chose to qualify on for a set of soft Pirellis, took over the top spot with a time of 1:34.9. Daniel Ricciardo, hoping to continue his success after winning the sprint qualifying over Yuki Tsunoda, had to return to the pits in 18th place after reporting smoke coming from his brakes. RB managed to get him back on track in time for one flying lap. Lando Norris managed to top Q1 with a time of 1:34.8. However, drivers Zhou Guanyu, Kevin Magnussen, Lewis Hamilton, Yuki Tsunoda, and Logan Sargent failed to qualify after not making it out of Q1. A lockup at the hairpin on his final flying lap cost Hamilton his place, with the Briton telling Mercedes, "This is a disaster." The remaining 15 drivers, including Sergio Perez, who barely made it through in 15th place, took their time and then all went out en masse. They crawled down the pit exit to legally build a gap. Verstappen claimed the front spot with a time of 1:33.9, half a second ahead of Norris. However, Carlos Sainz lost control of his car, spinning out of the final corner and hit the trackside boards on the pit straight, causing red flags to be waved. Despite the setback, Sainz managed to take third place, with Red Bull grabbing a late 1-2. The bottom five in the session and out of qualifying were Lance Stroll, Daniel Ricciardo, Esteban Ocon, Alex Albon, and Pierre Gasly. Verstappen continued his impressive performance, going purple in the final two sectors and setting a provisional pole position time of 1:33.9. Although Alonso beat Verstappen's sector one time, the Spaniard fell short by 0.4 of a second, with Perez coming in third, followed by the McLarens of Norris and Piastri. Verstappen upped his pace to a time of 1:33.660, with Sainz, Leclerc, Piastri, Norris, Alonso, and finally Perez joining him on the front row of the grid. Perez's time was 0:322s behind his teammates, with Alonso just over a tenth back. The stage is now set for an exciting Chinese Grand Prix, with Verstappen looking to maintain his pole position and dominate the race. That's it for today's video. Click this video next to get more on the latest news.